In a recent visit to Turkey, I was privileged to see Hattusha, one of the most fascinating ancient cities of the Near and Middle East. We were a group of 13 South Africans who visited the ancient Hittite capital in the northern central Anatolian mountain region of Turkey. The previous day we could learn more about Hattusha and the Hittites in the Archaeological Museum in Ankara. The Hittites were an ancient group of Indo-Europeans who moved into Asia Minor and formed an empire at Hattusa in the Bronze Age. Many of the artifacts discovered at Hattusha are now in the museum. The Hittite Empire reached great heights during the mid-1300s BC, when it spread across Asia Minor into the northern Levant and upper Mesopotamia. Hattusha was the center of the empire and the chief power and cultural force in West Asia from 1400 to 1200 BC. There are traces of human settlement on the site of Hattusha as early as in the 6th millennium BC. Many artifacts found on the site are now in museums over the world, although some have been returned to Turkey. The city once had a royal line of great Hittite kings, 27 of whom are now known by name. They ruled over their kingdom through government officials with independent authority over various branches of government and worshipped storm gods. The city soon gained importance because the town had a market where a colony of Assyrian merchants established a trading post. Business dealings required record keeping. The trade network from Ashur introduced writing to Hattusa. One of the most important discoveries at the site has been the cuneiform royal archives of about 30,000 clay tablets. I found this clay envelope containing a clay tablet very interesting. Although their civilization thrived during the Bronze Age, starting around 3000 BC, the Hittites were pioneers of the Iron Age and began manufacturing iron artifacts around 1400 BC. The next day we first visited the site of the Great Temple located in the lower city. The Great Temple was approached past a lion-shaped water basin which was used for cult purposes. It was carved from a single block of limestone. Then through a gateway which led to a wide paved street. Massive stone lintels covered the doors of the outside rooms of the temple. The temple was flanked by storerooms. A huge polished cult stone has been well preserved in the temple area. Enormous dressed stones were used in the construction of the lower walls of the temple. It is considered the best preserved ruin of a Hittite temple from the 13th century BC. This is an artist's reconstruction of the temple based on existing walls in the temple area. The older part of the city stretches across the lower part of the hill above the modern town of Bogaskoy. A monumental enclosure wall of more than 8 kilometers in length surrounds the whole city. The city is divided into separate districts by section walls. The ruins of the upper city's fortification form a double wall with more than 100 towers and tower-flanked gateways with arches and ornamented with sculptures. We were impressed by some of the 5 gates known today. The Lion's Gate is in the southwest. The King's Gate is in the southeast. This gate is decorated with a sculpture of the god of war in relief, which measures 2.25 meters from the tip of the toe to the top of the helmet.
This is from the original one. It's from the 15th century BC.
A procession gate, the Sphinx Gate, was in the south of the city. It is at present in the Ankara Archaeological Museum. It was located on top of a high artificial bastion with stone-plastered slopes. An arched stone tunnel runs underneath. As the city grew, walls were added. We admired the skill and strength of the new walls of the southern part. The walls had inner and outer skills around 3 meter thick and 2 meter space between them. We saw the arrangement and remains of foundations of a densely inhabited city district which were unearthed in the lower city. Eventually the city protected an area of 300 acres. Modern estimates put the population of the city between 40,000 and 50,000 at its peak. The dwelling houses that were built with timber and mud bricks have vanished from the site, leaving only the stone-built walls. We ended our visit at the famous rock sanctuary of Cecile Perold, 2 kilometers northeast of the capital. It is an open-air temple with 2 natural chambers cut into the bedrock on a slope of a mountain barrier. We were much impressed with the rich and striking examples of Hittite rock art. It features gods and goddesses and the figure of the great king Protea IV. The Hittites worshipped storm gods and the sun goddess Arina. The Hittites' ongoing conflicts with Egypt produced the world's first known peace treaty. The city was destroyed, together with the Hittite state itself, around 1200 BC, as part of the Bronze Age collapse. Although the Hittite Empire vanished thousands of years ago, it has by no means been forgotten, and its capital, Hattusa, has been declared a World Heritage Site by UNESCO. Moreover, an enlarged copy of a cuneiform tablet found here hangs in the United Nations building in New York. This tablet is the peace treaty concluded between the Hittite king Hattusili III and the Egyptian pharaoh Ramses II about 3,300 years ago, demonstrating to modern statesmen that international treaties are a tradition going back to the earliest civilizations.